So today what I would like to share with you all is knowing how to identify our wants and needs. You know, I chose this topic because that has been a struggle of mine, you know, and so I would like to share something, a little something. This past week, a friend of mine approached me and she was like, lovely, Bob Furnitures is having a sale. So she came over, she opened her phone, and we were going through it. And she saw one of their dining set, and she said, well, I would like to get this dining set. I was like, so I looked at her in a way, and I was like, well, back then she told me that she's looking to get a house, you know, and she has been saving for this house. So then I told her, what about the house? Aren't you gonna wait until getting the dining set before, you know, what's it called, getting the house before purchasing the dining set? And she was like, well, the ones that I have right now, there's something wrong with it. So and so is wrong with it, so I want to have it. So then I told her, I wouldn't suggest you get it. If there's no need for you to have it, why get it, you know? So going back to my message, these are some things, or the things that, you know, we people find ourselves in. You know, we find ourselves making choices of a want that we really necessarily do not need. So let's look at what want is. A want is to desire to possess, you know, or wish to have something. You know, so here it says desire. So most of us desire things that are not necessarily needed. You know, we desire to, you know, I'll say desire of materialistic stuff, you know? And sometimes also that can be into our relationship. We get into a relationship sometimes that are not, you know, important, you know, and that are not feasible for us, you see. In Philippians chapter 4, verses 19, it says, God shall provide all our needs, you know, according to his riches. And while I was putting together this message, I came across an article, and well, that's relating to this message, this verse, which is Philippians chapter 4, verses 19. And so the person pointed out something that I really liked. He said, God shall provide all our needs, but did not promise, did not promise to meet all our wants, you know? So once again, it says, God shall provide all our needs, but did not promise to meet all our wants. Amen. You know? So this, I say, relating this to us, that is something that we as people sometimes, you know, draw ourselves towards as far as our desires, you know, and the things that we want and that are not necessary, because making those choices do not really make us happy. And that's one thing he pointed out, because he said the wants that we, you know, requires do not necessarily make us happy, which is true, you know. And so looking into the needs, so to need also is requiring something that's very important. You know, if you need something, it's requiring something that is very important. So what are the things that are important to us in life? I would say a job. Many of us need a job in order to, you know, provide for our family and other things. And I would say having a car for me is another want. A need, because it gets you from one place to another. And also, well, let us get deep into our thoughts, you know, just to identify what we think are of a necessity to us, you know. And I would say this will be more of a spiritual need, you know. And an example could be wanting to get closer to God. You know, that could be a spiritual need of, well, it is a spiritual need for most of us. And another is, I would say, being a prayerful person.
Amen.
You know, being a prayerful person and also wanting to get closer to God.
Amen.
And that is one thing that is an important need of mine, you know. And although I pray, but it's something I want to do more often.
Amen.
You know. And many times I tell myself, the people that I'm mostly envious of or jealous of is a prayerful person. You know, because if you are very prayerful, there's nothing on this earth that you cannot get from God. You know, and that is a very, like I said, need of mine. You know. And another need could be attaining the spirit of evangelism, you know, and which is, spreading the word and teaching, the word of God. And as Christians, we do it, it comes naturally, I would say, at our job place, most often, I'll say, being in the ER, sometimes when I go into a room and even with the elderly, someone is complaining about this and that, I share a little word of God with them, And sometimes I'm surprised to know, hey, they say it back to me, and then I know that, hey, this one is a religious person, So that's how we do evangelism. It's not necessarily being in front of, the congregation and, teaching the word of God. We do it, like I said, as Christian naturally, And so I'll leave you off with this, and in conclusion, I'll just say that after listening to this, I hope we're able to identify our needs, and by doing so, we can engage in it and live a meaningful lifestyle. Thank you.